Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Brooke Roll. Alright, I got a couple of things I want to work on the Christmas Village today. After I did the lights yesterday and left them on for a couple hours, I discovered that the little clay buildings got a little bit on the warm side. Not dangerously hot, but they're obviously getting a little too much heat from the lights inside. So what I want to do is improvise a dimmer switch so I can knock the power down on the lights quite a bit and hopefully not get as much heat coming out of it. That's one of the advantages you get with incandescent lights, is you can put a dimmer on them. So I'm going to modify an extension cord with a little dimmer, inline dimmer switch, and we're going to see if we can knock down the power for the lights in the building so they don't get it so hot. Also, at the end of the video last time, I showed you a little problem where I was having where the train would stall on a certain part of the track. I want to go over to Hobbytown and let them look at it and see if they've got any ideas what could be. I actually shot video of it on my phone so I could show them what's happening, and I'm actually going to bring a segment of track in so they can look at it. Hopefully it's just a simple fix and we can get this taken care of real quick. Let's go. Alright, I'm back from Hobbytown and from Home Depot. I got something for both cases here. I showed the guys at Hobbytown my video of the train slowing down over this section of track, and I actually disconnected this part of the track and brought it along with me. And the second I showed them what was happening on the video, and then they looked at the track and they said, well, there is a little bit of buildup material on the metal part of the track. And so they sold me this little track cleaner thing here, and apparently it's like an eraser, and you kind of rub it over it and it kind of will take off any buildup that might be on there. Now they also suggested that there could be a problem with the wheels of the train itself, and I kind of dismissed that, because if it was the problem with the wheels and not the track, then I would expect that I'd be having problems all the way around the track, not just on one section of track. So in all likelihood, the problem is just that this little section of track got dirty. I don't know exactly how it happened, because I haven't really moved it around a whole lot, and even though I moved it yesterday when I put the light bulbs under the village elements, it was already having problems before I did that. So I don't know, we're going to try that. Their story is at least plausible, because if there's some buildup on the track, it might be preventing the electrical signal from getting through to the train. So it's at least a cheap thing that we can attempt to try, because it was only $3 to buy this piece. So I'm going to try cleaning the track off a little bit, and let's see what that does. They also suggested the possibility that maybe some of the plastic is a little bit too high. I don't think that's the issue, because the track seems to be riding up a little above the plastic on the framework. So like I said, we're going to try cleaning the track first, and let's see what that does for us. So yeah, that seems to solve the problem. That's what the issue was. So good. That was a simple fix. $3 to fix that. So definitely worth the time. We're back in order. Let's start looking at how we can reduce the amount of light in these little buildings here. And to do that, I found this little thing here. Now, what I originally wanted to do, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but sometimes like on cords going to lamps and hang on the wall, they'll have like a little switch that's actually on the cord, kind of like this. Kind of that little thing like there. Then that just goes to my little wax burner, but you can turn it on and off. Now they got some of these little inline switches that actually have a dimmer on them, and I've got a couple of them somewhere around here, but I couldn't find them, and I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for at Home Depot, but it seems to me maybe I can make do with this. This seems to be kind of a dimmer that you can just plug into the wall and then plug the extension cord into that and go from there. Now, since I've actually got two sets of lights running this thing, because remember there was 4 bulbs in each, so there's 2 sets of lights, and they don't allow you to daisy chain them together or to stack the plugs on top of each other like you can sometimes do with Christmas lights. What I need to do is figure out a way that I can make this single outlet work with 2 outlets. So I just bought a really cheap extension cord, 6 foot long, two connectors extension cord, and what I'm actually going to do is cut the ends off of both ends of the cable, attach it together and make it like a 6-inch long adapter. And basically I'll plug this into here, and then I'll have 3 outlets here that I can use to plug into the individual lights. And supposedly by tapping on this thing, I can change the amount of light that goes into it. So this should work, but like I said, it isn't exactly what I was looking for. Alright, so here's what I've done now. I've cut this middle section out of the cord. I basically cut this cord about here, this cord about here, soldered it together, reconnected it, or resealed it up with shrink wrap, and now I have basically about a 10-inch long extension cord. And basically all I want is just to have 1 outlet on this side and 3 outlets on this side. So now what I can do is I can just plug this into here. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand here. You have to use your imagination. This is me plugging something in, and plugs in like that. And then I can just plug the individual cables that go to the lights into here, and this will act as my dimmer right now. You tap on it and it changes the amount of voltage. Apparently there's 3 different settings. So I'm going to probably go with the lowest setting because I don't really need a whole bunch of light in here. I just want enough that you can tell that there's actually light inside the thing. And I think with the lowest setting, that's going to work pretty well. So I'm going to plug this in under here, get it all hooked up, and I'll show you what the final product looks like. See, as you can see, there's still a little light coming through there, but it's a lot less now. The bulb isn't quite as bright. Get out of the way, train, because we know you're working now. The bulbs used to be a lot brighter, and so it still creates the impression that there's lights on in the house, but I think it's actually more consistent with what you would expect in a house. I thought a lot of these houses seemed a little overly bright with the 7-watt bulb at full power. So by knocking it down by about probably 60%, I think it's more realistic. One of the things I noticed in the video I was shooting yesterday was that there was actually reflections through the window on the snow on the outside, and I thought that was a little bit overdone. So like I said, I think this looks a little bit better. It's more of a realistic light level, I think, in these buildings, and with a little luck now, these buildings shouldn't get too terribly hot. And like I said, we've fixed this thing now. It's crossing that little section of the track perfectly with no problems at all. I'm going to go a little slow this time here, because usually when you go this slow, it would stop altogether when it hit this cross section, and no slowdown at all. So we definitely solved that problem. That was what the issue was. So if you ever get one of these things and you find that for some reason every time the train hits a certain part of the track it slows down, yeah, sounds like maybe your track is a little dirty. That's what happened here. So this is all going to be a learning experience as we go along. Hopefully within too long this little village is going to grow, because my sister asked me recently what I wanted for Christmas, and I said I'd like a collection of additional track pieces. So hopefully by the time Christmas comes and goes, we're going to have this train running the entire length of this table. So looking forward to that. I'll definitely keep you in the loop as that goes on, but for now it looks like we've solved our 2 little problems today. We have made our train run properly across the whole length of the track, and I don't think we're going to have anywhere near the problem with these buildings getting as hot as they were with the old lights, now that we're using about 1/3 of the power. So I think that's all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.